Welcome to another episode of Recode Your Destiny. I'm the host and producer, Victor Escalante, and I'm very thrilled to bring you another episode with a very special guest. This lady, I just happened to meet her last week, and I needed to get her story out to you because she is the epitome of someone that has literally walked through fire and overcome obstacles and really has redefined and reinvented herself to create a destiny that she was not meant to live. So we're going to hear first thing from her of what she's been through, as well as the strategies, something that you can take away, something that you can learn to where your destiny does not have to be defined by things that happen to you, but rather what is it that you do with the things that happen to you. So welcome my guest, Luisa Deason. Luisa, welcome to Recode Your Destiny.
Let me start out by saying thank you, Victor. I really appreciate the invitation. And yes, I'm a poster child of having to recreate yourself over and over after you feel like you've been attacked and you've had trauma or situations you have found yourself in. But I just have that heart of gold that I won't give up.
I want you to think about maybe 3 key areas in your life where you were you were at the crossroads. You didn't know which way to go. Okay. Do I go to the right? Do I go to the middle? Do I go to the left? And you had to search inside yourself. And maybe at times you even just blindly walk down a certain path with faith that things would work out. And maybe in the big scheme of things, it did. But the lessons that you learned are what I'm after is like, what was the awareness that those lessons taught you? So let's go with the first one. Talk to us about a pivotal experience where you find yourself at the crossroads.
Well, I think my most memorable one would be having to have worked for the Department of Immigration and Naturalization Service when 9/11 hit.
Okay. What happened then?
We were an agency that was abolished, completely blamed for having let people in that had the correct documents to come in. And it just was a very traumatic time, a lot of confusion. We did a lot of community work, but we were kind of hostily taken over by another agency that came in and they had upgraded their positions of power to then come in and kind of dominate us.
So you're talking about USCIS, is that correct?
I'm talking about the creation of DHS when we were under DOJ as U.S. Citizenship and Naturalization Service.
Got you. Okay.
That was abolished after 9/11, and the creation of 22 government agencies were shoved under the same umbrella
Of DHS.
And Customs came in and took over and knew nothing about the immigration aspect of it and dealing with, binational agreements and people. They dealt with dope and fake Gucci purses and things of that nature. And it was kind of a personal attack on those of us that were legacy INS for many, many years. And so I took it personally, but then 9/11 propelled that because there was a lot of unmanaged trauma from some of the significant results that happened after that to me. One of them being I had a nervous breakdown practically.
Okay.
And I got to the point 5 years after 9/11 that I literally had to leave the service. It was a life and death situation for me.
What was the hardest part about it? I understand the having to report to different power structure. I understand the different dynamics and the different personalities. But for you personally, what was the hardest?
I think the hardest was that I had been respected and was trusted in the circles that I ran with when I was the spokesperson for the Immigration Service. And then along comes DHS. And it's different people, and the belief system wasn't there, and the trust wasn't there, and we were all kind of attacked personally.
Now, that's what happens every day in corporate America. And there's a hostile takeover that they remove all of the people in key positions, and they bring in their people, which, you know what, I tend to be a little biased about this, but that really is the right way if you think about it from an organizational viewpoint. That when you try to mix the old with the new, you're going to have a lot of confusion. You're going to have a lot of mismatches, and you're going to have a lot of conflicts that really could be eliminated if you, again, bring in the new team. I know I'm being a little biased about this because I have not lived through what you've been through. Actually, on a smaller scale, much, much smaller scale. I have when a radio station was bought out and again, they told us from one day to the next, "You're out, okay?" It's like tomorrow's your last show. I'll let you answer the question. What was the hardest for you?
Oh, I think the hardest for me was that I knew the subject matter so well, and I had
Yes.
developed and
Yes.
created trust in a lot of really valuable relationships. And the kind of work that we were doing wasn't just a job, it was life or death for people.
Yes.
And I think that we called it a hostile takeover, and they didn't want to get to learn our side. They just wanted us to do what they wanted us to do. And I think that the perspective of you're missing out on the human element of this. We're not dealing with drugs and dope and guns and Gucci purses. We're dealing with human beings.
Yeah, they were totally uninformed for everything.
Uninformed and unwilling to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sad part. Okay, so you reach a moment of crisis. You were at the crossroads. What were your options as far as what to do?
Well, I had gone through some of the counseling offered through the, employee
EAP.
EAP, and I was very stressed. I had just had a baby, and he was barely 2, and living a life where you're on call 24/7 when you are married to an agent, and at the time, you're both on call and you're dropping people off and kids off at my mom and dad's in the middle of the night. I think it just kind of wore over on me, and I just decided I'm tired and I just have to get out because it's a matter of life and death for me.
Sure.
My mental state had gotten so bad that I thought I was going to try to kill myself.
Wow. That's rock bottom. So 2020 hindsight, you made the right choice, yes?
I absolutely made the right choice, and I was able to go back and, rectify and do a lot of things. Like I was able to go back and really nourish some of the valuable relationships I had, and I continue to have those today. But I think I took a stand and said, nobody's going to save me. I have to save myself.
Exactly. And that's a very important metacognition. The fact that no one's going to rescue you. You got to rescue yourself. If you're going to get better, it's up to you. No one's going to do it for you. You got to do the work.
And nobody cares.
Exactly.
What I used to be is I seek for that approval and that respect, and I wasn't getting it. So, I had to just finally hang that towel up and go, I have to do something else.
Yeah. Okay. What did that experience teach you about yourself over and above what you've already shared with us?
Well, I think it taught me how to be a survivor and a real fighter. And when somebody tells me, no, you can't do that, I'm like, I don't need to take it's your opinion. I know what I'm capable of doing and I'm going to forge forward.
Now, by that point, you already had lots of experience under your belt in having to re-engineer and reinvent yourself. Tell us what led up to having that experience of reinventing yourself.
Well, I think what happened is it taught me how to be self-sufficient and nobody's going to promote myself more than I am.
Yes.
And I became less vulnerable to those others' opinions. And I live most of my mantra today with, I don't really give a rat's about what other people think about me. It's what I think of myself and the value I can bring to others.
Okay. Tell us about another experience. I asked you for 3. Tell us about another experience.
Another experience for me was pouring my heart out to a company that then went belly up. It was a direct sales company. I was kind of used and abused, and you come into those kind of lacking some sort of a family centris or a center, a trust, and I didn't find that. What I found was that a lot of people used me for my benefits and my contacts, and then ran with them, and then when I was no longer able to produce them, or they had run out of taking advantage of me and I could no longer give them anything, then they dump you. It's a very disheartening position when you poured your heart out to do something that you're trying to build something on a promise that's never going to happen.
It's the car dealership mantra, churn and burn.
Well, they certainly grilled me for a while over the barbecue pit. And when I'm done, that I was burned all over. I was like, okay, I'm done. I say, stick a fork in me, I'm done.
Yeah, you recruit lots of salespeople. They come out, they tell them a good story. They sell all their friends and family. And after they've sold all their friends and family, they get rid of you and the next one comes. Okay. You're listening to Recode Your Destiny. We'll be right back.
Big news, the Woodlands. On September 23rd, we're rolling out something that's going to change the way you think about personal development. Escalante Mind Recode. This Lunch and Learn isn't just another workshop. It's your chance to discover the history and science behind a revolutionary system that's helping people rewire their mindset, break free from self-sabotage, and step into their full potential. We're proud to announce that this event is being brought to you in partnership with Monarch Quantum Wellness. Together, we're creating a new standard in personal transformation and holistic success. And the best part? You won't just be listening. You'll be learning tools and tips you can use immediately to create clarity, focus, and lasting change in your life and career. So join us for a powerful afternoon of insight, connection, and transformation, while enjoying lunch in a relaxed setting, right here in the Woodlands. Seats are limited, so secure your spot today. This is your chance to experience Escalante Mind Recode firsthand, with the added benefit of a collaboration that brings even more depth and innovation. Call 210-21-66915 or email victor@victorescalante.com. September 23rd, The Woodlands. Lunch and learn.
We now return you to Recode Your Destiny.
I think the third experience was
What did that experience teach you?
well, that experience certainly taught me to be on my own. If I'm going to just not build a team and just go out after customers, I need to build the trust with my customers. And it actually worked to my benefit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a team that I built, but I had more customers than all the leadership put together.
Yeah.
And I became what they called the GOAT, the greatest of all times in customer acquisition and customer retention. And for that, I have trusted allies and a lot of people that have followed me and trust me. And even after I retired from the credit restoration business, so to speak, people still call me and say, I'm begging you to help me. And I'm like, to feel like you've made an impact in somebody's life and you were truthful and you were honest and you didn't coerce or lie to them to get to that decision, it was a partnership.
That's the one where you were known as the GOAT, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about a third experience where, again, destiny came calling and knocking on your door. And again, you're faced with a choice.
Well, repeat offender. So
Wow.
I did not go into another direct sales marketing company for a while. What I did was I became a 1099 employee for an insurance company
Okay.
out of state. And my connections through the prison systems and my knowledge and agreements and things that I had done in the past opened up the doors for me to bring on very large accounts. And I'm talking about bringing on accounts like the entire prison system of all of Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the Department of Corrections in Florida, Tennessee, other states, et cetera, et cetera. And I could have been a millionaire, but again, I was kind of used and abused and cast aside after they had used and abused my contacts. And what they didn't realize was that when you really do things honestly and you're truthful to yourself and to your people you're in your circle will trust you.
Yeah.
And when I left, they didn't know why I left. They just had known that when Luisa leaves, it's a matter of ethics. Some ethical thing had been violated severely and she's gone.
So you're a repeat offender and that you hadn't learned the lesson.
I'm a train wreck. Help me get off the tracks.
You defaulted back to some of your old ways of being trusting and doing everything you're well empowered to be a team player and to play by old value rules.
What do they say? The first time, shame on you. The second time, shame on me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm a repeat offender. I've gone around the revolving door for a while, but you know what that has taught me is I put a wall up and I'm not as open with everybody. I have to really get to know you and know that you have good intentions to let you in first and foremost, which I think that is maybe a fault, but I don't tell everybody what I'm doing and what's my next step because I've been screwed over so many times by sharing my ideas. And it's like, I'm a lot more guarded today and I take a lot more care of helping me first and then helping you. It's kind of like being on the aircraft, we're going to run out of air.
Right.
My mask has to come down and I have to put my mask on before I can help you put your mask
Yeah.
on.
What I tell some people is if I say yes to you, I'm saying no to me. Okay. So before I can say yes to you, I have to have the resources. I have to have the capacity and the bandwidth in order to take care of you. And at that point, if I decide to take care of you, you either are going to pay my price Or you're a charity case that I take pity on you.
I've been a charity case for several people for about 15 years. Can you help me, Victor?
Yes, I think I can. I think you come to the right place. So please.
I need a whole recoding of my brain matter.
Exactly. I need to do a brain transplant with it.
You did tell me I was high octane and high maintenance.
Yes, yes. What I mean by that, listeners, is Luisa is such a powerhouse that she's rattling off ideas at 100 miles an hour, which I'm the same way. That's why we connected and we were on the same vibe right away. And because we have shared past in media, working in media, and we know a lot of the same people, that's why we decided to partner up in such a way to bring you, the listener, you, the Houston resident, valuable insights and tools that you can use to scale your business. Luisa, tell us what that last experience taught you.
The last experience taught me to be very guarded with my contacts and my information. I'm the expert in what I know how to do and how I know how to help. You need to pay me for the value I bring to the table. It's not free anymore, and I have to be respected.
And MOUs.
And sign a memorandum of operating and understanding.
Yes.
Because what has happened is I try to get in. I'm such a open and kind-hearted person that I go in with it with the benefit of, please let me help you.
Yes.
I've always come to the table with, I want to help you first, and that's not worked out.
Yeah.
So I have to have an agreement where I'm not screwed in the end.
Yes. I was working with a client here recently, and she shared something along the lines of what you're describing. So I told her, if you were to go into that store across the street and tell them you have a bucket of honesty and integrity, would that buy you a cup of coffee?
No, they're going to say, we don't give a crap. Get out.
They would look at you and say, did you take your medication?
Did you take your meds this morning, lady?
Exactly. So I'm not suggesting that there shouldn't be integrity and ethics. What I'm suggesting is that you find a balance in how you do business strategically and very, very informed to where you at least have some kind of cover, some kind of exit strategy in case things go south.
Well, and it's funny you say that because as we're speaking, I'm remembering a phrase that my father said, and he was a very good businessman. He's been gone for almost 10 years. And he said, leave the emotion out of the business. Don't bring your heart to the table. Bring your knowledge and your experience. That adds value. And I'm like my mother. My mother and I are like, we want to save everybody. And I'm just not, I got to take that. We want to help and rescue everybody. I need to be productive and get paid for my value.
Now, listeners, do not take advantage of Luisa and use her goodness and kindness of her heart against her by pleading your case.
I come armed.
Okay. And
with knowledge and a wall that
you can always send them to me. It's fine. Show me what you got. Luisa, any final words? If we were to have your whole life flash before you, what would be some valuable lessons and insights that life has taught you?
Do what your heart tells you to do and do it with passion. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't control your own destiny or that you cannot control your own future. When people told me no, I said, well, take notes and watch me.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. It's like try to underestimate me. It'll be fun.
Okay. What else?
The other thing is be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Do everything you know with integrity. You want to leave a legacy and a reputation. And I always say this, do everything to protect your reputation because you've built it for years.
Exactly.
And it takes one moron to dissolve it in 5.
Give us one more. I know you got it.
Learn when to say no and learn when to walk away from the table.
No when to pull it.
I mean, the way I see it is, I've sat at different tables, and I think that when you walk away from one and another one opens up, be very guarded with what the intentions of the other table members are doing.
Because if you don't learn the lesson, the cycle will repeat itself.
Well, I've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah. I need to put you into my 12-step recovery program for entrepreneurs.
Well, and I come with a warning label. Don't put me on speakerphone if you don't want me to. I
open up a can of truth.
You got to filter me first.
Yeah, you got to be vetted. You have to predetermine what is who you're putting me on on a speakerphone. You got to.
I'm very honest.
Yeah, you got to be
very direct.
High maintenance.
High octane. I'll bring the fuel enhancer.
There you go.
The fire enhancer, if you will bring the matches.
Luisa, es It's been a riot having you on Recode Your Destiny because again, this is what this podcast is about is look, if life has handed you some bad cards, if you got some lemons, don't brood over it. Make some lemonade, make some margaritas. It's like, for heaven's sake, do something.
In other words, don't go off on a Zoom with everyone who's taking advantage of you or said something dumb because, it's either my way or the highway. I've got to change my way of thinking, but I should have kept my mouth shut at that point and not insulted everybody else that was on the Zoom.
I'll give you a phrase to remember. Calladita te ves más bonita.
I will take that to the bank.
There you go. Until next time, friends, go out and have a great week.